Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Swamp Talk. I'm your host, Howard Petrie, along with host Miss Rosie Page and special
Hello.
host Miss Jenny. Our host tonight, our guest tonight, Mr. David Merlin, we was having some technical difficulties and trying to walk him through some things, and we couldn't quite get him through it. So we're going to actually be bringing him back March 30th. He was ready to set up a whole bunch of stuff with some illusions and all kind of stuff. So I was really excited about it. I mean, I was ready to actually see what he had to offer us. And he said he can read minds, but he can't get on StreamYard. That's what he told me.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
work the same, I guess. I don't. It doesn't for me.
So I guess with St. Patrick's Day coming tomorrow, I guess we got a real Irish woman on here. So I guess we are day. Well, it's actually St. Patrick's Day where you're at now, isn't it, Jenny?
It is. It is
Oh
1:42
yeah,
in the morning, so it's St. Patrick's Day here.
I
Right.
forgot.
So where's your green beer?
Well, it's in the fridge for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was
wow.
planning to wear it tomorrow.
But it ain't doing you no good now. You can always go back and get more.
I actually do have a Guinness in the fridge. I might actually pour it.
There you go.
Oh man, pour some for me too.
Guinness.
Oh, there's Rick. Hey, Rick.
Hi, Rick. Hi, Irene.
Rick. It's a little inside joke between me and Rick.
Everybody.
That's what I was going to
Howie.
do
He
that.
said Howie.
Yeah. Yeah. As you all know, we're on a new network. Uh, I'm back home. I guess you could say you've seen my posters and stuff like that, my news story. I'm back home. My mama done coming home, and I'm back home with people that really care and love me. And I'm grateful for. I'm actually want to thank Stephen Woodard, Crystal Woodard, Courtney Peterson, and Mr. Rick Garner for giving me the opportunity to do what I do, and uh, I'm having fun doing it. Trust me. And we have also will be starting our new network. Myself, Miss Rosie, right, Miss Rosie Page, right there, Miss Ane Shinran will be starting our new network, Prometheus Productions, and hopefully we'll be starting that soon. As soon as I can get Rosie to jump up and do some flips for her, and she hits me with a stick. She hits me with a stick, and while she's
Give
doing
me a
that,
Red Bull and sit me down at a computer, and we'll finish it out.
and I call her up, is it ready? And she says, leave me alone, leave me alone. Okay, all right. Chill, Rosie. But no,
What is it? The electronic cranky gods have spoken. No.
she could have reached through that computer screen. Trust me, I've been had my ass whooped about several times already. So, lucky she lives in Oklahoma. But I love
It's
Rosie
too
to
far to
death.
do that.
But yeah, since it's St. Patrick's Day coming up, and why not have an Irish woman on here?
I have my little pot of shamrock.
Oh my gosh, that's so
You
cute.
can't drink that though.
I know, but I have my Guinness in the fridge. It is cooling, and I will be having a pint of Guinness here on the show tonight and tomorrow night as well. But we have our little pot of
That's
shamrock
cute.
here.
I love it. I want to steal it, but you're too far away. I want to
I
plug some
love
of
it.
the.
And then John, yesterday I seen it. It was like brown. The whole thing was brown. And I'm like, what? I thought I left it in the windowsill and it would have been fine. But I forgot it needs water. So I had to put some water into it, and then it just blossomed into green again.
Yay,
So
that's
I'm
good.
loving your hair, Rosie. I'm loving your hair.
Thank
I
you.
am
I'm glad
jealous
it
of
turned.
my hair.
You ain't said nothing about my hair.
I'm jealous of your hair too, Howie.
I know. I actually took a bath. You know, Jackie let me in the house long enough to take a bath, so I was lucky. I was.
Your hair looks good too, though, Jenny. I like the haircut.
Thank you.
It's a good haircut.
I went a little bit crazy kind of 2 weeks ago, and I was left unchaperoned in the hairdressers. And when they give me color charts, and I'm like, oh my god, I want this color, I want this color.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, but what I saw in a picture didn't come out of my hair. And the amount of people telling me, you see, the amount of people telling me I look like, a fruit salad sweet or like a tequila sunrise. My hair was like orange and red, and it was supposed to be like all mixed in, mashed in together. It did not look like that. So I was in a hotel in Sligo. Hi, Crystal. I was in a hotel in Sligo 2 weekends ago, and I went out to Boots Pharmacy, and I got myself some hair products and redid my hair in the hotel room. Because
Hello.
it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. So yes, I'm back to normal, Jenny.
Hey,
Carl.
Normal.
Carl. Well, it looks good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like the color.
Thank you. It's like, I'll go gray I'll make myself go gray before I naturally go gray.
You look like a silver fox.
I am a silver. I am a silver fox. If I knew what the sound was, I would do it, but I don't. I was going to go brrr, but I don't know.
I don't know what noise that foxes make. I'm not sure. But they're cute. I don't know what they sound like.
A high-pitched sound, which I'm not going to do.
Hey.
So how's everyone's day?
Oh, my day's been like shit. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's flat out like shit. It's been a long couple of days. Finally got to where we get to do what we love to do, and I think Rosie's been through it just as much as I have.
I'm gonna say it's been interesting. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's been like not interesting, like great. It's more like interesting, like you had a boil inside your leg and you tried to open that thing up. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of interesting.
It's challenging, then?
Challenging, very challenging. Let's go that route. Very challenging.
It comes full circle.
Yeah. I
said that earlier today, exactly what you just said. That's funny. What a coincidence.
It comes full circle.
Also, being on Paralinks, we do not bow to any corporate sponsors whatsoever.
I should have had these set. I got some green crystals.
I was going to tell you my wine bottle, but I better not.
The green crystal.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Is that a suppository? What is that?
No, it's a crystal.
Oh, crystal.
And what does that heal? Because if it heals me, I will use it as a suppository.
A green crystal actually is healing. It's healing and it's good luck, and it represents like life. Green represents life, luck, happiness. Then a lot of things like a shamrock kind of represents sort of.
Yes. I have everything.
Know this one.
Right.
This one's like a black and green marbled one. So I would say that you could use it to like transmit some yucky energy and turn it into happy energy if you were feeling like unhappy or depressed or sad, probably. Yeah.
Oh, really? I like it. Any plans for St. Patrick's Day?
Probably to eat some green cake or something, or wear green for sure, and make sure if anyone's not wearing green, I pinch them.
Yeah.
That's very traditional. Yep. Pinching. Yep.
Nothing is on fire, by the way. This is just stage. Okay. So I'm not like on fire or nothing's on fire. It's just sage.
So the first day tomorrow, after like 2 or 3 years, is the first day that we're having St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh yeah. What is that like? What does it look like?
Oh, it's okay. It depends on what town you're from. If you go to Dublin, it's great. If you go to different cities, it's great. If you go to Cork, it's great. If you're in Drogheda, they're just going to, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. They're gonna
ambiance, yeah. Get the crystals and the sage.
Yes, everything is like advertising. Tractors as we have, and coal and gas and whatever, and all these prices are hiking up, and I'm gonna like throw my shoe at it. No, get the truck out of my face.
Yeah, they're gonna make you walk everywhere.
It's hiking up, so I'm gonna throw my shoe at it.
Do it.
So, yeah.
Do it.
but the pubs are open.
Yeah.
Yay, the pubs are open, but I won't be going to any of them. That's what I'm
If I
doing.
was like not boring, I'd probably know what like the scene was for that day, but I don't even know if they're doing like if they did a parade. They probably did in Arkansas. They didn't do one anywhere near me, but I live on the Arkansas border, and they usually do a really big parade. If you go over across the Arkansas border, they do a
I like when they
parade.
throw cabbages. I mean, you go to the parades and they throw cabbages. They do. They have some,
I would eat
yeah.
those things.
You get cabbages and you get carrots. Cabbage and carrots.
Really?
Yep.
Mm.
Do they throw them?
Yeah. I
You could
would. I
bring a
mean, I
big
said, man,
pot
I
and
try to
just
hit somebody, but that's what.
carry a pot and try to catch them.
I would love to throw a cabbage.
Hey. I always like to eat a cabbage, corned beef and cabbage.
Oh, like a ham and cabbage.
Yes.
Yeah,
Green
ham and
onions,
cabbage.
potatoes, ham, cabbage, parsley sauce.
Yeah.
You know, potatoes,
That
cabbage.
sounds amazing right
Oh
now.
my gosh, it is so
We
good.
do. We put potatoes and carrots and all with ham and sausage and bacon. Oh yeah, to get the bacon going.
Mhm.
Got to have bacon.
Now I'm hungry.
I know, me too. I'm like, darn, I need something to snack on that's green.
And do you know what I used to snack on? When when I'm trying to like be healthy and so on, I would go and make some Brussels sprouts with some bacon, and think to myself, that's like filling me up. It's like so satisfying. I really want some chocolate or some crisps or anything that's not healthy. But I'm trying to be healthy and eat some. You see, Stephen, you see what you just said there, St. Patty's Day? The Irish just hate that word, St. Patty's Day.
Do they?
Yes, they do. St. Patty's Day. Yeah, actually, I don't mind. I shouldn't mind it. I shouldn't say it. But the Irish people hate St. Patty's Day.
They like
hate
to
it.
say St. Patrick.
St. Paddy or St. Patrick's Day. I don't actually know why they don't like the word St. Patty. I should really look it up. But
Hey, that's just like a superstition type of thing. I bet you it has something to do with bad luck or something bad that
I
day.
don't know. I'm actually my phone is in front of me, but I'm curious as to why.
Me too.
I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up. Why?
Hey, Courtney. Yeah, I should have messaged her. I thought I'd message her and tell her we were running late.
Yeah.
She's like, stop, I'm hungry now. I know, right? Do you ever see the green snowballs, like the little cakes that are chocolate inside and they're coconut
You
on
don't
the
eat
outside?
those, especially in the snow. No, you don't eat the green snow.
No,
Yellow
the
snow,
cake
green
ones,
snow.
not the nasty on the ground. If they were green, I would not eat snow that was green. No.
Would
Or
you not?
yellow.
I probably like taste it with my tongue and just like I feel like
Smell it. I'd smell it first, and if it stinks, then I'd run away.
I forgot about the smelling part.
But like they have the snowball
Oh
cakes
no,
that come
Stephen,
two in a
I
package.
promise I won't. I'm having a glass of wine here now, but I promised I won't.
Pour some for me.
I have no idea why they don't like St. Patty's Day.
Oh, this is a good one for you there, Jenny.
No, actually, Joshua, he's not. I will tell you what he is. He's actually British.
Oh.
He's a Brit.
He is a Brit. He was born to a British family, a British. Oh my God, I did look this up today. My dog is snoring. Hope he stopped. He was born in Britain to the family I forget, but I will look it up, I promise. And the Irish raiders kidnapped him for 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
And there's my dog agreeing. Hope.
He wants to be on the podcast.
She's always on it. And so they kidnapped St. Patrick for 6 years. So in the north of Ireland, it begins with S. I did look it up, but it's in County Antrim, which is in the north of Ireland. So after 6 years, God told him to get a boat back over to his family. But St. Patrick came back over to Ireland to change the pagans into Christianity.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I listen, girl, I found this out today. today. I found this out today, and I am bleep bleep age, but I found it out today. And so basically, and one of my friends was here this morning having a coffee with me, and I said, "Oh my God, you better not tell everybody that St. Patrick is really kind of British." And yes, you did, Stephen.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty
And I
cool.
didn't know it until I seen it on a comment this morning in a group, in a paranormal group in the north of Ireland. And you got me that too. And so apparently I said, let's not tell anybody, like, he really is British. But, we kind of kidnapped him for like 6 years. And so we kind of just, get a payback. And he came back over to Ireland to change pagan into Christianity. And then when he left Ireland again, he took all the snakes with him, apparently.
Okay.
There's been no snakes known to be in Ireland.
Okay, we are very lucky. We'll get him for the last hour, but we do have Mr. David Merlin. He's finally going to be able to join us in the studio. So,
Really?
yep. And here's David Merlin.
Oh my gosh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Would you believe it works right away with my phone and my iPad? I mean, it was like first click, and it's like everything you were
That
telling me
was what I
earlier
was
was
on.
popping
I
up.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, welcome
Yeah.
to the show.
Oh, well, thank you.
You've been very, very highly spoke of. So I said, well, let's see what he's about and get him on here and
Yeah.
give him a try and see what see what he. And you was telling me about the illusions and stuff that you. Now you're an illusionist. What exactly is an illusionist for ignorant people like me?
You mean like the difference between like a magician and an illusionist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, uh, about
I don't even know what I mean.
3,000.
I mean, I know a magician does, but an illusionist is a magician.
Well, I tell them the difference is about $3,000.
Oh,
Wow.
and
Well,
probably
it's basic.
a lot of psychology and science.
Yeah, well, with the illusions, it's mostly the big props like David Copperfield, like
Hmm.
Siegfried and Roy, Doug Henning, Blackstone. Uh, I mean, I started in close-up magic and then kind of evolved into the illusions because I had building skills and I I designed my own props, build my own props. It's just a skill that it just kind of come naturally to me. I was never like I never had schooling in it.
Hmm.
So I was really fortunate.
Is this something that you were interested, like since you were young or something?
Um, not really. I was a professional musician, actually. I could play drums and guitar. I played in rock bands when I was growing up. And I guess I was probably in my late 20s when I got into close-up magic. And then it just kind of started with small, and the next thing you know, I'm working with the world's top fire artist, and we're on the David Letterman show.
Oh,
So
Oh my gosh, fire artists. I always
yeah.
have been intrigued by fire artists.
What is a
yeah, if you've
firehouse? They
ever
just put flames or what was?
well, this guy, I don't know if you've been to Vegas, but there's a show out there at the Bellagio called O by Cirque du Soleil, and it's a
Yeah.
water show, and it's like one of the biggest shows in the world. My friend Ray, he's the fire artist in the show. I mean, he sets himself on fire. So we used to do a lot of NBA basketball game halftime shows, college basketball halftime shows, overseas television, hockey intermissions, and we would have like fire and magic. So it was kind of he does kind of a comedy fire show.
So
So I
he
worked with
gets paid
him.
to catch himself. He gets paid to catch himself on fire.
He's the highest paid talent with Cirque du Soleil.
Because
Wow.
Really?
we do that here in Louisiana. We do that's a typical Saturday night, and we do that for free. So I mean, if we can get paid to do this, man, we're doing the wrong kind of work.
I,
That's funny.
I mean it. I mean it's really really dangerous what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to work with him, he had saw me performing at a comedy club, and I was doing some of my big illusions, and he asked me because I'm from Alabama, and he came to the big comedy club Stardome here, and he asked if I would be interested in moving out to San Diego for a while and helping him put together like some like fire tricks. So I ended up going out there, which I thought was going to be for about 8 or 9 weeks, and it turned into like 2 years.
San
And
Diego's awesome.
yeah. The weather's it's the best in the world.
Hmm.
So I worked with Ray for a couple of years out there, and then he got the Cirque du Soleil gig in Vegas, and then I ended up moving back to Alabama to put my own show together, and then I ended up moving out to Vegas shortly after that, and doing some more work with him and with other illusionists around the world,
Wow.
and when I was out there, I even helped him pitch the Wizarding World of Harry Potter to Universal.
Oh,
Oh
I
wow.
Oh,
produced
God. It's amazing.
Yeah, a producer had saw me performing at the Acura car show in San Diego, and he asked if I would be interested in helping him put together this presentation at Universal. And he said it's involving magic. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, well, there's a couple of books out, and a third book's about to come out. And I said, what's the books? And they said, well, these books are going to be a big movie. And he said it's called Harry Potter. And I said, I've never heard of it. And this was back in 2000, which I had
Yeah.
never heard of it. And so we put this presentation together. And at the time, Spielberg was supposed to have been there because
Oh wow.
he had the rights to make the movie at the time from J.K. Rowling. But then they kind of had a falling out about who was going to be the actors in the movie, and
Hmm.
Spielberg, he wanted to have certain people, and J.K. Rowling was like, no, I want all British cast, and so they ended up kind of parting ways, and I'm
Hmm.
sure Spielberg's probably kicking himself now.
Oh yeah.
That was a big mistake, but uh, but anyway, Spielberg was supposed to have been at the presentation, and he just so happened to have an emergency surgery on the day of the presentation, but it was all the heads of Warner Brothers, Universal, DreamWorks, so they were all there. And I just wish I could have got it all on camera, but we weren't allowed to film it because it was kind of top secret at the time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
somebody asked
that
a
was
question, wanted to
one of
know what part of Alabama are you from?
I am from a small town uh, about 40 miles east of Birmingham. It's called Sylacauga.
Hmm.
It's got the whitest, purest marble in the world. It's the home of Jim Neighbors, and it's the only place on Earth that a person's been hit by a meteorite.
Oh wow.
Goodness.
Yeah.
See, I like David. David's a good guy, but there's one problem. He lives in Alabama, and I live in Louisiana, and he knows why I don't.
Probably football.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Funny.
Oh yeah.
Besides
Alabama
relocate.
and LSU.
Yep.
That's a huge
Uh-huh.
rivalry every year,
I
especially
should
Well,
bring
after
my
we got
brother out here then. I have a brother
especially
that
after
lives
we
there.
got Nick Saban, because Nick Saban was the coach at LSU and he won a
yep.
national championship with you guys, and then he went to Miami for a year, and then he came to Alabama and has been here ever since. So.
Yep. He's a traitor.
He's a winner though.
Yeah, he's a winner. We had one. We had a winner. Yeah, and of course we had a really great quarterback at one point, Joe Burrow.
Oh
Won
yeah,
the,
he
he
was
won. He won everything. I mean, you couldn't touch that kid.
oh he was great. He was great. I mean, yeah, he was definitely he's one of the best college quarterbacks in a long time. Him and then probably Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, the Burrows. He was really special.
Look at look,
Are you
look. You
talking
got here.
about the Matt Jones from Arkansas?
Mac Jones played quarterback at Alabama last year, and we won the national championship with him.
Did he come from Arkansas before that?
Uh, I want to say Mac Jones was from Florida, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, because there was a really big, famous football player here for the Arkansas Razorbacks named Matt Jones several years ago.
Yeah, Mac, he came right out of high school and he was at Alabama for 3 years, pretty much on the bench,
Oh,
and then his senior year he just exploded,
It was who?
set all kind of records. It was unbelievable.
so you're an illusionist. So what you need to do is go back and go outside and drive down over there and go to Alabama Stadium and grab Nick Saban and make him disappear. Make Nick Saban disappear. You make a lot of
Yeah,
people in Louisiana happy.
I
Do you do
don't
that? Do
work.
you make things disappear?
I make things appear, disappear. I cut myself in half. I levitate myself.
Oh my gosh.
I do all the basic kind of illusions with a twist to myself instead of using like a girl assistant. I do the things to myself. But
Wow.
and then for many years, I traveled on the cruise ships performing. So I've been all over the world uh, on over 30 different cruise vessels.
There's a
And
George Chaplin in the house. I David Merlin, you rock star.
oh yeah, George is great.
Do
George
you know
actually
he?
helped me. George helped me at the Las Vegas Para Unity. He was kind of my assistant there a couple
Ah,
months
of
ago.
course he was.
Wow.
Oh yeah. George is great. Um, but the past several years, I've kind of got away from the illusions as much as I used to do, and I'm more into the mentalism and the ESP, telekinesis, all that sort of
Mm,
stuff. I mean,
absolutely. A friend of mine does that.
I,
Telekinesis.
I,
Let me,
She's
I
let me,
do
like,
some pretty,
I want to
I do
introduce you to
some,
everybody, David, because you didn't get a chance when we uh, first came on. Yeah, of course, you have Miss Rosie Page at the bottom. She is from Oklahoma. I'm Howard Petrie. I'm from Louisiana. Of course, you knew that. And that's Miss
right?
Jenny Sullivan. She is from Ireland.
Where?
hello,
Yep,
Ireland.
Where's Ireland? Ah,
Yeah,
Ireland.
Hence
sure.
the
yeah,
accent. Her accent.
yeah, 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 yeah. So am I. Can't you tell from my accent?
Yes, I can for sure. Sure. Say sure to be sure.
I probably am Irish. I have.
Yeah. Okay. When you were saying talking about telekinesis, if that's I'm saying the word right, a friend of mine, and that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you as well tonight. That a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, has done something like that before, and she did it on video. She is a, a genuine, fantastic woman who's a very close friend of mine. Um,
Hmm.
and she had this like it was like a glass round top vase over like not a cup, like a little thing on the inside with a piece of paper on the inside, and you can see the paper beginning to move. So people were like kind of like, oh, whatever, whatever. And because I trust her and she's a friend of mine, I'm kind of like, okay, girl, you're doing it. This is like I've never seen this before. How is it possible? Like I've tried. I'm going to be honest with you. If I cannot find my remote control, I am willing the TV to, and I blink my eyes to change over my channels, but it doesn't happen. How, like, I'm like this to my TV and, willing it to turn over. How do we do it? How do you do it? How do we do it? Can everybody do it?
Do it again, Jenny. Do it like you just did. It's Genie. Look.
Well,
Or she's like bewitched.
Yes.
well,
And I remember having a remote control in my hand, the TV remote control in my hand, and I used to tell my children, watch, mommy's a witch, an Irish witch. So I'd like this to the TV and I like turn the channels over and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, so don't upset me. Don't upset me, children. But is it for everyone? Can we do it? Can everybody do it? Do we have to have that time that we need to? Howard's trying to do it now. Howard's trying to blink. Can we all do
well,
it, or certain people can do it?
I think our minds are like computers. Um, we're able to retain information just like a computer, and we can recall information faster than a computer. You can ask Siri something somebody could ask me. I can repeat it before she can. I mean, it's pretty amazing what just the tissue and the brain can do.
Mm.
People they claim that they can read thoughts, and who's to say they can't? I mean, we have Wi-Fi. Who says the brain can't work like Wi-Fi? I mean, there's
True.
lots of people that they can be thinking about somebody, and then the phone ring. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that somebody's thinking of you at the same time. So I think anything is possible with the brain. I think some people have certain gifts, and I mean I think there's a lot of con people out there, but I think I've seen and I've heard of people that can do some spectacular things.
Wow.
Of course, in my show, I don't claim that I have any kind of special gifts. I let the audience be the judge.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're the judge and jury of what I'm doing on stage to tell if it's real or if it's
Mm.
illusion. And which I challenge everyone to come to my show because it is when you're there in the audience when I'm performing. Of course, I'm going to do some big illusions. I like to do visual things, but I do things you know through the passing of thoughts and
Mm.
reading people that's quite remarkable. And people say, well, are they plants in the audience? And so what I do is I throw pieces of paper out into the audience. Whoever catches it, I have them throw it around the room a few times, and then I'll ask that person a question.
That's awesome.
I do many different experiments in the show, and you have to really be there to experience it, to really grasp it. You see this stuff on television, but until you're there live and it happens to you, it's like
Mm.
something you'll never forget.
Wow.
That's why I'm trying to get into doing a lot of the paracons.
Yeah.
So because I think they would really enjoy this kind of thing, and I do
Yeah, I think they would too.
I do a new ghost segment that's really really good, really spooky, and I'm even talking with people, about possibly doing uh, you know television show because of what I do, and bringing it into the paranormal realm.
Mm.
Because I've been interested in the paranormal since I was a kid. I've had a couple of really great experiences. One that was more, I guess, ghost related. One that was UFO related. But
Okay.
the ghost thing that happened, I mean, it was terrifying of what happened. And I mean, it hasn't happened since anything to that degree. But I mean, this was really, really terrifying. And so I've always had an interest in it ever since. So I kind of thought, well, why don't I mix my show in with my interest of the paranormal, and people really, really have been receptive to it
Yeah.
because
I was going to ask if you
it's
changed your show in the last few years since the paranormal community has grown vastly and it's been way more acceptable. If you've kind of like designed to go with the times and like kind of thrown that in there.
I've been doing the kind of a paranormal show. I would say the last 3 years, and of course COVID hit, and that really threw a monkey wrench into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was really going good, and then COVID happened, and then all of a sudden, all of us entertainers were out of work for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's just, I mean, entertainers got hit really worse than anybody because we're
Mm-hmm.
we're disposable income. We're not a necessity.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
but I think people have really missed live entertainment,
Yeah, they have.
and
I have.
and and hopefully now it's coming back. You know,
Absolutely.
We have a question from the audience, Mr. Gabriel Herrera, who's my co-owner and founder of our network, Paranormal Swamp Investigations and Paranormal Swamp Talk. What is the best way to start practicing telekinesis for beginners? What exercise do you recommend to develop this ability?
ah, that's just a tough question because uh, it's just a matter of focus. Um, all of it's a matter of focus, and I think some people can do that and some people can't. Uh, I think it's just gifts that certain people have, and it's like I really don't know how to tell someone how to develop it. It's just like with clairvoyance. I mean, I don't know what type exercises you you can do to develop that, but
Mm.
but I'm sure that you guys have probably come across a lot of people that are able to tell you things that are pretty remarkable. That there's no way that they could know these things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Almost
yet
sounds
they
like a
can.
psychic, maybe like a psychic or a medium.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
uh, we had a lady here in Alabama, in Clay County, Alabama, and my dad and my uncles, everybody used to talk about her. Her name was Miss Till, and she lived out in basically out in the sticks. And people would come from all over the country to see this lady. And there were some skeptics around the area, but she made believers out of people pretty quick, and including my dad. My dad was a big hunter. Um, Back in the day, back in the 50s, 60s, you know, coon hunting is huge in Alabama.
Yeah.
Out in the rural areas.
My
He
brother
was a
lives there,
big,
and my brother lives there, and he used to do it, I think, and my dad also used to do it that lived here.
yeah. In Alabama, especially back in the day, that was a huge, huge thing. And my dad was the type that would have the coon dogs, and he just loved getting them and trading them and getting different
Hmm.
dogs. And I mean, there was a group of them. There's probably 50 people that they all knew each other in the area, and they would all go hunting together. And well, my dad had a pretty expensive dog, and they went hunting one night, and the dog got lost, and that dog was lost for a couple of days, and he was really down and out because
Mm.
he had paid so much money for this thing. And somebody said, well, you ought to go ask Miss Till about it. And he was real skeptical, and finally him and somebody actually went to her house and sit down in her kitchen, and she started reading him, and she said, your dog is under the porch of so and so's house. And of course, they didn't really believe her, but they went there anyway, and sure to goodness, the dog was up underneath the porch.
Good Lord. See, how like we have we haven't studied, but like I would be fascinated by people who would know these things. Like, oh my God, there's like a million questions to it, how they would
Hmm.
know these things. It's just phenomenal. Really, it is. It is. It's crazy.
It's mind-boggling. And of course, there are a lot of people that are very good at psychology, and they can read people that way. They're very good
Hmm.
at body language,
Hmm.
and that's what I tell people about my show. Perhaps I've got the gift, or perhaps I'm just really good at reading people with psychology and
Hmm.
the different body language of how a person, whether they're laughing when they're talking, whether they're clearing their throat. I mean, certain muscle movements of the face. There,
Yes,
there, um, there's some great body language experts that can tell in a minute if you're lying. They get you in an interrogation room. They work with the
absolutely.
CIA, FBI, and they pretty amazing things.
Mm.
So there's a lot of people that can do that, and there's a lot of people that are like psychic advisors that they're probably not psychic. They're just using these tools, and but
And
there are those that can't be explained.
can I ask you a question, David? Like Miss, did she live so many distance away from where the dog was that she
Uh,
didn't like see the dog or know where the dog was to prove her that you know she knew where the dog was, that he wasn't too close to the neighborhood, if that makes
oh,
sense.
I think it was about 10 miles away. Um, but I don't. According to my dad, they had no communication with each other. The people that
Yeah,
was under the porch.
yeah.
You mean the dog or the people under the porch?
Both. Oh no,
What?
the big
No.
dog.
There were people
Well,
under
it's
there
like
too.
my dad had asked them, "Did you have communication with Miss Till?" And they're like, "No." and said the dog just came up here, today,
Yeah,
and he's been,
that's crazy. So
so
she
they,
kind of
so they,
saw it going there, I bet. Like she saw it
You got to
walking
remember,
there.
it is Alabama. You got to remember that things happen in Alabama. That's all I got to say about it. Miss Ane Shin, I
Said,
don't know if
read
you know
me.
Ane, said, read me, David, make me levitate.
oh yeah,
I don't. I'd rather see him levitate. I'd rather not levitate. Yeah.
yeah. I think
No,
yeah, she was wanting me to do that in Vegas to her.
Unless you have a way to pop someone's back really well when you levitate them, then I'd be down for it.
yeah, we
I'm
heard about
actually pretty good. I'm pretty good at being a chiropractor. So
we already heard about the Vegas trip, and matter of fact, the one who recommended you on here was Jackie Harmon. She's
Yeah.
the
yeah,
one who told me
Jackie's
about.
yeah Jackie's great.
She told me about her escapades too there, and it wasn't pretty. Yes, maybe
Yeah,
it was. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't judge.
yeah. It's like every night after the convention was over for the day, everybody's meeting in the bar there at the MGM Grand. So
Yeah, I
it
heard that
was
was a.
me and
She
her,
said some,
Brian Canu, and lots of them. Ghost Brothers. Everybody was hanging out down
The
there.
what I
Ghost
want.
Brothers were there. Are they really
Yeah,
funny in person?
Um, funny. I don't know.
Maybe not funny.
when I'd be running across the room and going screaming like a schoolgirl, it would be Josh Gate.
I would if I saw the Ghost Brothers. I would be like, ah.
That's my
Yeah.
man crush right there. Ani wants to know she said, "Hey David, so good to see your handsome face again."
Ah, she's awful sweet. She needs glasses.
That's funny.
She's
She'd be cute
amazing
with
woman. That's
glasses.
for sure.
She would look nice with glasses. There we
But
go.
I'm hoping maybe in the next year to devise some kind of show, because I've got a few friends that are in the entertainment industry that that are interested in what I do, aside from
Hmm.
magic. Like because I did shows like Letterman and America's Got Talent. I was on Penn and Teller last season. I've been on Comedy Central in past years,
I like
but
Penn and
I'm
Teller.
really
I think they're pretty amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that they can do. I mean,
oh
I've
yeah
seen them
yeah
before, but I mean, but
yeah they're
uh,
very unique act.
do you actually do like the same type of uh, illusions as what they do?
I'm very different. I think that's why people like my show is because I'm combining the big illusions, the visual stuff, but I'm also uh, giving the mind reading, the
Yeah.
transmitting of thoughts, the ESP. Like I've been working on this new ESP thing that's really cool. That was kind of inspired by the opening scene of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The new Ghostbusters, the one they just made, or are you talking
Or
about
the
the
old one.
original?
The original, but in the new one, if you wait till after the credits, there's a little scene, kind of a little teaser thing, after the first row of credits.
Hmm.
I didn't know if you have you seen Ghostbusters
I've
Afterlife
seen it
yet,
about
Oh yeah,
5 to 6 times at least.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
an awesome movie.
and
The
did you watch
part,
after the credits?
which part? Hmm?
I think I watched where they had, which is Winston was going back into the old firehouse, and they were getting ready to
And there
restart it
was
back
another
up.
part before that.
Yeah, with
There
Sigourney
was,
Weaver. Yeah,
yes,
with
where
the
they're doing
with the
the marking the cards
Oh
and
yeah,
he's
yeah the
tricking
ES
her.
yeah the ESP cards. But of course, what I do with the ESP cards is I have you tell me what the card is. It's like you're
Oh,
transmitting. I'm looking at the card to
so
transmit
do
what
you
I see to
project the
you,
image?
right.
and you and which I which I had it set to do with the iPad. I may can do it with the telephone tonight.
Oh, try it. Try it.
If
So you
if it'll
project the image to your victim. or whoever your
Yeah,
client.
yeah, pretty much. Um,
Awesome.
I don't know if I'm too far back. Can you see me on your screens? Is
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
on a big computer?
Very good. Yep.
Um,
Victim.
I am.
um,
See if I can do this. Let's see if I can do.
Yes, P. Yes.
That's
I
so
don't know
fun.
if you can. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can see.
If you, I see
Let's
a
Ah,
see.
right.
cross and a
They took us out.
circle
Yeah, they took
Let's see.
us
I'm on.
out, and that's a big screen just for you.
Yep. That's
there. Just move it a tiny
perfect.
bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
There. Yep.
Okay. Okay. What I'm going to try to do here. I don't know if you can see the symbols:
Yes.
Yes.
the cross, the circle, the star, the wavy lines, and the square.
Okay.
Okay. Above each symbol, I've got a card. Okay. I want one of you to tell me the name of one of the symbols that you like.
Star.
The star. Okay. The star.
Hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to choose my favorite, the wavy lines. Okay.
Oh my
So
God.
so we've got two cards here. All right. I'm going to kind of mix them up. So you hopefully can't keep a track of which one is which. Okay. All right. Howard, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. This is position number 1.
Hmm.
This is position number 2.
Hmm.
I want you to tell me, is the wavy lines in position 1 or position 2?
I say one.
And what makes you choose 1?
I don't know. I just
Is it
if you have
is
a
it maybe
feeling that's
because
me.
I transmitted it that way to you?
There you go.
That's correct.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Let's do it again. I'm gonna shuffle them real fast. You don't know if I'm putting them in the front, off camera once. Okay. All right. Do it one more time. All right. Here we go. Now somebody else choose this one. Who wants to do it?
Jenny,
You.
I'll
go
do,
ahead.
okay. I'm gonna go. Okay. So
Okay. This is position number 1.
okay.
This is position number 2. I want you to tell me where you think the wavy line is. Position 1 or position 2?
It's going to be in position 1.
You also chose position 1,
Yep.
and you are correct. It
Yay.
is in position 1. Okay.
Okay.
I want somebody to pick another card, either the square, the circle, or the cross.
Okay. I'll
I
go here. Oh, sorry, Howard. Go ahead. Go ahead.
was going to tell Rosie she's the picker now.
Okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
was gonna pick,
Uh,
but if y'all want to do it, I was gonna let you do it. A
all
square.
right. You want the square. Okay. There's the square. If you can see it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now we've got 3 cards. We got the wavy lines, we've got the star, and we've got the square. I'm going to mix them up again. Okay. I'm going to mix them up some more so that you do not know where they're at. All right. I'm going to span them out. All right. All right. I want you to tell me where the square is. Is it in position 1, position 2, or position 3?
2.
You think that the square is in position 2, right in the middle, right?
How
That
am I
is
right?
correct. See, and there's the other 2.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
That's really up the ante on this.
I am a square.
I'm I'm gonna take the cross right there.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the circle. Okay, I'm going to mix them up. All right. Can everybody see this board right here?
Yep.
Let's see.
Perfect. Right there.
Okay. All right. Howard, this card here, what is it?
Squiggly line.
The squiggly lines. Okay. Okay. Next person. What is this card?
Circle.
The circle. Next person. What is this card?
Cross.
The cross. Next person. What is this card?
Star.
The star. Okay. Of course, we've got one card left. It would go to the square. But I'm going to give one of the ladies a choice. I can put this under the square, or you can make one swap. Do you want to stick with this or make a swap?
Rosie, what do you want to do? Do you want to stick or do you want to
Swap
change?
it. Swap it.
Okay,
Well,
which
Rosie,
one
you
of
already
these?
square.
Okay, would you like to put one of these where the square is? You can have
The
one
cross.
swap only. You want the cross to go over here to the square.
Yes.
Okay, so that would put the cross, or this card over the cross. Now,
I agree.
if you can see this, in
Yep.
order to get all five of these right, the odds are like 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's the odds are 120 to 1 to match all those up. That would be the Vegas odds. Now, it is highly improbable to match all five, and most people don't do it. But notice I said it is improbable, but not impossible.
You,
Oh my gosh.
no,
You
Apparently
guys
not
did great.
impossible.
You guys did great.
that, and
Awesome.
when Rosie said that, I was about to say the same thing as what Rosie was saying, but Rosie
Uh-huh.
said, and I'm like behind in the background going, perfect, perfect choice. I was going to do the same thing. So it was like,
I was reading your mind.
guys are exercising minds. I was
It's
like,
like you guys got
thing.
every single one right. All five, and then you got the three times before.
It was
That's
because of
pretty
Howard.
incredible.
So
No, it
what?
was because of Rosie and the luck of the Irish. That's what it is. Rosie and the luck of the Irish. That's what happened.
Sure, sure, sure.
I've actually been blocking my mind so that no one to try to not let anybody read it on purpose this month. So
Me
when
too.
I'm sitting here and Howard's gonna grab and say, "Why were you so quiet?" I'm gonna be like, "I was doing a mind blocking technique. That's what I was doing."
I was
Yeah,
going to use my laser eyes to go through the cards to see Irish
I know
Jenny.
people do that all the time, especially when you're a psychic or a medium or an illusionist. People try to block you all the time, I'm sure.
Yes,
oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I've gone to see many mediums before, one or two or three. You know, the field that I'm in, I have to be very, you know, if I can use the word anal when it comes to
Yeah.
the field of.
Anally
Did somebody
retentive,
say anal? What?
selective.
I said the word anal, but when it comes to like to who I go to see and what they can give me, and you know, I'm not in the field of medium, but I'm in the field of supernatural, paranormal, and so on. So I kind of you gotta keep me quiet and make me be quiet because you shock me so much. There's only one person that I've ever seen in the field that did that. Well, I say two or three that did that. One in particular. So when that person could read my mind, what is it now that all of us have got these cards right? Was it the fluke? Was it a luck of the Irish? Was it like because we
Look at the Irish.
the luck of the luck of the Irish? Or just that we kind of it was our minds doing the work that we don't know give it credit for, basically. We don't give our minds enough credit, or our ability, if that makes sense, that we don't know how to use our ability if we know that we have it. I love it, Stephen.
Yeah, it's the sixth sense, you know, the third eye. And some
Hmm.
people have got the gift, and some people don't. I think everybody has the potential, um,
Mhm.
but to learn how to use those muscles in the in certain memory banks of our brain that we're not using. I mean, how
Yeah.
much of our brain is not being used? It's a pretty high percentage, from what I've
Probably a
been
lot of
told.
it.
I know a lot that that percentage of the brain is not being bloody used, but for the ones that we can use, can we train to use our brains like that? You have a, or is it like you have it or you don't? You kind of have
I
it
think
or you don't, or you have to be trained.
I think some people just have it naturally, and some people they learn how to develop it
Mhm.
with lots and lots of focus. You know, with my show that I do, there's so much intense focus when I do things with the audience one on one. And basically, I would love for you guys to see it live one day to really
That would be
experience
awesome.
Oh, exactly.
when I'm one on one and I can actually look at you in the eye. I mean,
Mm.
it's incredible, and it's kind of I don't know how to describe it because you're seeing some of the illusions that I do, but then when you see something when I'm just kind of cold reading you and
Mhm.
transmitting thoughts with each other, that most of the audience can't comprehend it. I think Jackie got to see a little bit of it
Hmm.
there in Vegas, and she had brought Brian Cano to the show, and I don't know if they saw the whole show, but I do some things where I just hand out books and magazines and just have people at random choose a word, and where I'm
That.
telling
Yeah.
them what they're reading,
Yes.
and
Wow.
that's a big part of the show that's so powerful. And
Mm.
I do a big prediction at the end that's really good. And
A
of course
prediction,
my
like
And what kind of prediction do you do?
um, kind of toward the end of the show. Well, first I put some information inside of a box, and I lock that box, and I lock it into another box, and I give it to the audience for the entire show, and they guard it out there at their table or their seats. And then I gather some information toward the end of the show by having like a beach ball go around the audience, and whoever catches it, I'll ask them just some kind of random question, and uh, and I'll make a list of maybe five different things, and we open that box up at the end, and I have them read it off, and it matches completely of what they said that I written down of what's in the envelope,
Hmm,
That's
and
amazing.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Look, I'm getting married May 22nd, and can you make my fiance Jackie disappear?
Where is Jack?
before or
Where's
after the
Jackie?
wedding? Which one?
Uh, After the
yeah,
wedding,
yeah,
now, I mean, make sure we're married, and you know, it's a
yeah. If
done
it doesn't
deal.
work out,
I
No,
think
yeah,
we
I
no,
have
should.
people ask me that a lot. I say there's people in Walker County, Alabama, that actually do that.
Really?
So I've been told.
Oh Lord.
or
I was
some
just
bad neighborhood in the city, in the walls. They'll disappear quick.
and
Oh, I
David,
see
when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
you
English is coming on in.
David, when
Yeah,
you were saying
when,
earlier that when you were saying, over the COVID 2 years, and you know things have died down, and you weren't in work or whatever, and Stephen was saying like we need people like you in the paranormal field.
Yes, we do. It's a great tool to use. Yeah, I mean, we're not calling it a tool. I mean, we're calling it. It's something that we can use when we're doing investigations. Am I correct? And you can actually do like feelings and
Yeah,
we don't want you to make nothing appear. We just want use your senses picking up things.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I have
yeah.
a really
yeah,
weird question.
yeah.
If
I've had like intuitions, ever since I can remember about
Mm,
things.
That's
of of
really good. Yeah.
of being able to read people, of
Mm,
like usually who's a good person, who's a bad person.
yeah.
If I can
Mm-hmm.
just pick, I don't know how I can do it, but I can usually just pick up on
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
something. It's
Me
almost
too.
like, it's like there are dogs that can do that.
Yeah.
They
Oh, well,
can
listen, I work with animals. I work with dogs. So, yeah, geez, I have a few dogs myself. So, my dogs are just silly. They love everybody. I don't have a dog that will ever sense anybody who's good or bad. They're just all silly dogs that loves everybody. I need to find a dog that will sniff a not a good person out. But I know when you're saying that you can sense people
Ooh,
and so on, and
good
then
question.
a friend of mine
Yep.
has that ability, and then at that point I
Mm-hmm.
want to put my tinfoil hat on me so they cannot read me, and they cannot read my thoughts or my mind, and what kind of person they know me as a person, as a friend, but it's one of my things that my some of my
This is
friends
my
tell
little
me.
guy.
Oh, he's so
Oh, I
cute.
can't even deal
Oh,
with it.
this one must have her dog too because she's been sitting there all this time waiting.
I love.
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
is
God, Zach,
I have a
Zach,
papillon, but he is not here right now
come
with
say
me.
hi. I need to get my dog up as well. Look, Zach, come say
yeah,
hi.
this is Bentley.
Here's Zach.
Oh, how cute. Is
Bentley, is
that
that
a Cocker Spaniel?
is a
Yeah,
Shih Tzu?
Who, Bentley?
or Bentley's no Bentley. I don't know what is Bentley. What kind of breed is she?
Maltese
Is
Shih
he?
Tzu?
It's a
Shih Tzu?
he.
Lhasa?
He's mixed with Shih Tzu, Yorkie, Maltese, and
Wow.
Boston
He's
Boston
a Heinz.
Terrier.
He's a Heinz. What we call him, a Heinz 52. He's like
A malt Shih Poo.
he just
That's what my
he
mom
actually
calls it. Yeah.
he actually just got a haircut, and he was like super super just
Oh,
fur everywhere.
that's
let's
great.
see the dog's
And
head.
yeah,
We
he's
have a
great. He
question.
can actually sense people.
We have a
Yeah.
question here, which is a very good question for you.
Yeah, he did.
Do
That's a good
do you
question.
practice hypnosis?
Mm.
I do a segment in the show called, I don't call it hypnosis, I call it the power of suggestion. And
That's funny.
it's a really unique, you've seen hypnotists, they get people on stage and they have them clucking like chickens,
Yeah.
acting like they don't have any clothes on, all that kind of stuff.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
what I the experiment that I do is very very different. It's very different. Um, you would just have to see it live. It's like, I don't like to give it away online. I like everybody to experience it because it's
We are gonna have
hypnosis,
to do this.
and
We're
it's
gonna have to see this.
Oh, they say
yeah.
practice hypnosis on me, David. And then of course you have the owner of Punk up and he says Jesus.
Jesus. I have a weird question. You said that you also have a segment of your show that involves spirits or ghosts, or is it
hmm
spirits?
it's a ghost segment, and it's a lot of fun actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes it can be frightening. It's kind of a it's kind of a mixture of amazing, frightening, and funny.
Okay.
And in which that's all I'll say. You have to experience it
Wow.
live.
Oh
Well,
my
like
God.
that question was basically kind of leading to this other question. There's a If you're able to suggestively like put a thought in a living person's mind, are you ever able to manipulate a spirit's mind?
Oh, nice.
Or have you tried that before?
No,
No? Okay. Just
I'm
a
That
not.
would
question.
be
I was
something
like,
interesting to try.
huh?
That would be something interesting to try.
Well, then you could cross spirits over that don't want to cross over. They don't know how. You could convince them to cross over, I feel like, when they don't
Hmm.
want to. They're afraid.
Now, are you guys friends with Tony Spira?
I know who
Yes.
he is. We know who he is,
Yeah.
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 I don't
Yeah.
know him.
Okay. Yeah. I know Tony. I've visited him at the Warren House there in Connecticut. Which Tony, he thinks a lot of these things are demons that
Mm.
imitate the dead. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that think that, and to be quite honest, I can't tell you yes or no. I don't know. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody's got an opinion on it. I'm just kind of in the middle. I just don't know.
Can the
What
spirits
do you guys think?
intimidate demons?
He's saying that Tony Spirit thinks that most
Yeah.
of the spirits that we see and encounter are actually demons. That's what he's
No,
saying.
I don't believe that's
No,
true. No,
no,
I don't.
no,
No.
no, 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 no.
I
The
don't
way
know if
But
I can say yes or no to that. I think it's possible, but I can't say yes or no yet.
but I
David,
but
the
I've talked
way
with.
I right,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Well, the way I see it, and I've said this a billion times, and I'll say it a billion times more. The person you are in life is going to be the person you are in death. If you're a good
Mhm.
person in life, you're going to be a good person in death. You just transitioning. You're here because you might have something violent might have happened to you, or you might have unfinished business, something of that nature. Now, if you're a butthead in life, you're going to be a butthead in death. And some of these people are evil. I mean, you have evil people in the world, and uh, that's what I believe that they are. These demons that you see, a lot of them are just evil spirits.
Yeah, but demons weren't
Yeah.
human, so if there was a thing that was a demon, you wouldn't know if it was or not. If it told you it was a spirit, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
And why
Yeah.
I know when they say like, children who giggle and laugh
Hey,
and so on, that hi David, that they giggle and laugh, that's my dog. That he always has to do that say when we say demons. He's a Akita mix, he always makes that big bear noise.
the
But
puppy.
no, it's my Akita. My Akita, he makes this noise when we mention demons. He just makes
Oh
this
my God.
noise, which why I'm a little bit worried about my dog.
Uh-oh.
But I know he's not getting attention. But the children laughing, and I know when they say when children laugh that as females we're going to say, oh my God, there's a child here, let's go to the child. But now we have gotten clever in the field to say, no, we're not going to this child crying. And what they make some children is a demonic that women will give this crying child attention. I know I was out in the field last week in one of my locations and we heard a child giggling. We left it giggling. We didn't say, oh, do you want a toy? Do you want a candy? Do you want this? We just left that giggling. We're like, we need to re-look into this, why this child was giggling. So why is it that I mean, like I just answered my own question there about, the females and the children, demonic, because it's just like as females, we will go to children that cries. Children that giggle, why don't we go to them? Not the ones that cry, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? If you hear a child crying, we're going to say, "Oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong?"
I
If
think
we
it's a motherly instinct that's like in your female DNA, especially if you are very maternal. And I
yes,
think that if you hear a giggling, it's a little bit more scary because you're
then
wondering why they're giggling. I don't know. That's just my
yes,
opinion.
and then we're saying we're not going near that child because we've been told it's a demonic person trying to get your attention and to go forward to that area where the child is giggling.
Yeah, maybe.
We're back at that location next weekend.
Yeah.
More to follow. We're
But
going to
this guy here, I tell you, when this guy leaves this world, he was a pimp in life, and he'll
go.
be a pimp in death. That's David Childers. That man is, I call him the pimp daddy of the paranormal.
He is the pimp daddy of the paranormal world. Yes, he is.
Yeah, my scary episode when I was young, I had something actually sit down on the bed next to me
Hmm.
with significant weight that you could
Mm.
feel the whole bed sink in and feel it. I could feel it up against my leg. And I was just almost like in paralysis. I was so scared.
Oh,
I was probably 19 when it happened. And
It was heavy or light.
well, it was heavy. I
Yeah.
mean, you remember like back in the day, they had the older box springs,
Yes.
and
Beds.
Yeah.
Oh
they
yeah.
made and they make a lot of noise when you would get on the bed, you know. But when you were settled in and you're not moving, the box springs are they're
Mm-hmm.
leveled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember like it was yesterday of just turning the lights off, lying down, just kind of sitting there thinking about the day. And my dad used to, he would go hunting, like I told you, all the time, even, when I was up in my teenage years. So I'm probably 18, 19, and he worked for Alabama Power Company, and he was out sometimes late at night, if bad weather or whatever. So it was nothing for him to be out 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes,
Hmm.
with the power company. And he would always come to my room, regardless of what time it was. That was just his kind of way. He would come in. He wouldn't turn the lights on, but he would kind of sit down, wake me
Hmm.
up. Hey, you asleep? Kind of thing. Just kind of ask me about the day, even though if I'm asleep, he's going to wake me up.
Hmm.
Um, just checking on me. That's just the way he was.
Yeah.
And he was gone one night. I can't remember where he was gone, but I had went to bed. It was probably 10 o'clock, and I mean I had just laid down, turned the light off, laid down, just kind of turned to one side, thinking about stuff, and then all of a sudden I felt the bed sink in. My dad would always sit on the bed when he would kind of shake me and wake me up. And he weighed a couple 100 pounds, and you could really feel when the bed would go down.
Yes.
So I'm laying there, and that bed just all of a sudden just sinks down like really far, and you can hear the springs as it's going down with
Mm-hmm.
that weight. And then I could feel like a hip or something up against my leg. So I just kind of turned over, thinking it was him that had come in, you know, for the night,
Hmm.
and I could still see in the room, cause, like from the street light outside coming through. I mean, it wasn't pitch dark, so I turn over, and there's nobody there, and I can still kind of feel that spring, that weight, that thing against my leg, and I'm like frozen, just paralyzed, and
Hmm.
I don't know what to do. I don't scream or anything, and then after I don't know 10 seconds or so, you could start feeling the bed go back up,
No. Mm-hmm.
and you could hear those box springs as that tension
Yeah.
was coming off of them, and
Yeah.
I mean I mean, we're talking, a few inches rising up. You're laying in
Yeah.
bed, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, then I, it's like I was just petrified, and it took a long, long time to go to sleep that night. And I can't remember how many people I told. It seemed like I didn't tell very many because I'm thinking they're going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah. Hmm.
And but that was the only time I had experienced something like that, of where I could physically feel it.
Hmm. Did you think that it
Um,
was any certain, like now looking back, do you think it was a certain spirit?
Yeah.
um, well, now my uncle had stayed with us for a few months at one time, and then he passed away. Um, Maybe 3 months before he passed away, and this happened maybe 3 months after.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I don't know, and and he actually had used my room because I
Yeah.
was away at basic training for 3 months, and he passed away. Like I think it was he passed away. I ended up going to basic training right after. I was gone for 3 months and came back, and the incident happened not too long after I got back.
Mm.
Um,
Hey, that's my
So
friend.
was this your dad's brother?
yeah,
And your dad
yeah, this is
oh
my dad's brother.
dad did the same thing? He used to sit at the side of your bed when he came in from work, or was that
Yeah, yeah. He would always sit kind
so
of
your
at that
uncle?
spot and kind of wake me up, ask me about my day.
So
I'm pretty sure it was your uncle.
your uncle did the same thing as your
I'm
dad.
pretty sure it was him.
I mean, my uncle never did it to me in life,
I think he
um,
Right.
just did it
but
to comfort you or something.
That didn't want to
but
frighten you too much.
Hey.
That, your uncle probably think that if he did it the same way as your dad did, that he was just checking in on you, but didn't want to frighten you. So he did what your dad used to do, was to sit at the edge of your bed, if that makes sense.
It's possible.
Yeah, that he
Well,
didn't
he
want to frighten
definitely frightened me.
well, yeah,
I mean,
he
it
tried
was
not to
really
do
frightening.
the same thing as what your dad used to do.
Yeah, I think he was also
That's
maybe like just checking in on you, like just checking on you. You were asleep, and he was like just looking at you while you were sleeping. He didn't really mean to wake you up. Yeah.
yeah. Of course, I had not even went to sleep because, and some people had asked me, "Well, do you think you fell asleep and dreamed it?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. I mean, I just literally laid down wide awake."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
and then I guess the only other just unexplainable thing happened to me that I wouldn't say it's paranormal, but uh, when I lived out in California, um, we were about to go on the Letterman show for the second time, and we were filming some of the fire stunts out in uh, east of Temecula, out in the mountains, where my friend Ray does the fire. He had a little cabin, and I had my first and only UFO sighting out there, and that was pretty amazing.
In Temecula.
And that
It's
it was about 20 miles east of Temecula, up in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
and had a sighting that night. And that it's like I can remember that like it was yesterday, just the way the thing moved and
You remember what
no
direction it was
noise.
going in?
Um, well, this was about 3 weeks before the Phoenix lights happened. I think this was like in February of 97.
Right.
Um, and my friend Ray had this property. I'm pretty much out in the middle of nowhere, and it was up on a mountain, about 3,000 feet elevation. He had a lot of land up there, and it overlooked, like you could see the city of Temecula off in the distance, about 19, 20 miles away. You could see the lights, and behind us there were gigantic snow-covered mountains, going back more towards like Hemet and Palm Springs area. Um, but he had this small cabin, and you come out the back porch, and you could see, Temecula. Off to the right, he had this boulder that was about, I don't know, 40, 50 yards from the cabin. It was a huge boulder, probably 15 by 15. And we had this little place out in front of it. We used to shoot all our videos. We would go up there because we could shoot the fire and the pyro and stuff that we couldn't do in San Diego because it was illegal in California, for
Mm-hmm.
pyrotechnics. So we're getting all the pyro stuff ready inside the building, and Ray says, "Go check the camera and all the lights, make sure we're ready to go." So we had one of those old camcorders out there, the big ones,
yeah.
and we had like those big halogen lights, those big halogen light trees that have like two halogen lights to a tree. So there's like six of them, and had that whole boulder and that whole area in front of it just lit up. So it's like if something was traveling in the sky out in the middle of nowhere, and you see this gigantic boulder lit up with lights, it's going to attract you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Stephen,
but
do we have
anyway,
a show that runs after us, or this is only show on this
Yeah, because
side?
Courtney's not on here anymore, and she usually knows all the shows. I don't think that there is, but I'm not sure. Because it'd be cool, because then he could finish telling his story, so we won't have to cut it.
Yeah, no, because we got like 1 minute. Do you know if anything like that, Stephen? If we have another show behind us?
All you have to do is go to the host page and look at the schedules.
I don't have the list.
Premier United Network, Paralink's host page, and then look at the schedules. Anastasia, that was in the comments. She had a UFO experience. She told me. I haven't. I'm jealous. I really look like I've always liked aliens, and I've never seen any. I
No
wish
other
I had.
shows. Well, he's checking.
He said no other shows. No other shows.
Awesome.
Nope.
Okay, you want me to finish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
So
anyway,
you check.
so I'm coming out the door of the cabin, and it's just a perfect night, not a cloud in the sky, and all the stars are out. I don't think the moon was out that night. I just happened to look out over Temecula in the distance, and then I looked off to my left, and there's a couple of hilltops off to the left. They're not real high, um, and I saw a light, and I thought it was just like an airplane coming out of San Diego. Maybe heading toward maybe L.A. somewhere, and I could see it over the one hilltop, and it moved over more to the left over that hilltop, and then it stopped. And I thought, well, that's really bizarre. And then it's just hovering, and then it all of a sudden it starts going back to the other over the other hilltop, and I'm estimating the thing was probably a couple miles away. I mean, it's hard to really know, but um, the size of it was basically a light, kind of an amber light, not quite like the stars, more like a street light. This kind of the amber look, but
Mhm.
I would say the illumination was like almost 3 times the size of the evening star. So it was a big light. So when it started hovering back in the first position, that's when I yelled for my friend Ray, in the Cirque du Soleil show. So I said, Ray, get out. I said, come here. He said, what is it? I said, there's something up in the sky. I want you to come here and look at this. So as soon as Ray kind of just opens the door and the light kind of comes out, that thing just drops like a meteor behind the hill. So whatever it was
Hmm.
knew that I had called somebody out there to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Ray gets out there, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I promise to you this, I'm not making this up. This happened. And he said, well, my friend Brian's seen a lot of stuff up here too. And of course we're on a tight schedule, and Ray said, well, that's cool. He goes back inside, and I thought that was pretty incredible. So I start walking back toward the where we're going to be shooting the video to the other side to my right, and I look out over the valley toward Temecula, and there's the light again out over the valley. And
Mm.
I'm like, so I just stopped dead in my tracks, and then this thing makes kind of a maneuver. It's like at one point it just kind of drops and goes up like a V, but it's kind of like that speed, and it's
Oh yeah.
hovering again. No noise whatsoever.
How long ago was this,
And
David?
this was in February of 1997, and we
Well, that's
were
what Gary's just
about.
saying right now.
I'd say I know Gary. Um,
He
I
said
didn't
there
know.
was one that's with similar V-shaped UFO as Phoenix Light craft being seen over Ireland the last few weeks. Same ship.
Hmm.
Yes, it's been seen in many different places in Ireland, Sligo being one of them, where I was 2 weeks ago. And then I was seen down in, I think, Limerick. I'm not too sure, Gary. But just when Gary
That's
mentioned
what
it,
I felt like.
and then when David said a V shape, and then Gary said it, and I'm
Well,
like, it's the same
well,
thing.
when I say V shape, I'm talking about, it made a maneuver.
A dip.
It was just one object. It
Hmm.
it kind of dipped at an angle and went back up at an angle like a V.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was just one object, and then
Mm.
that's when I was like just complete. I wasn't scared at all. I was just like, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it dawned on me that about another 20 yards away, I had a camcorder sitting over there. So I'm thinking, I'm going to get this on film. So I didn't take more than 2 or 3 steps, and that thing just like the lights went out, just
Yeah.
like somebody turned a light switch off,
Mm.
like it went invisible, or it just turned its lights off. I don't know. And I've asked a lot of people about it in the military, over the years, and they would always say, well, it could have been a drone, but they're like, did it have any noise? I said, zero noise. And they said, well, it wouldn't have been a drone because you would have heard it. because those things sounds, especially back then, they sound like like bees buzzing or something. You would have
Yeah.
heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no clue what it was. Um,
Wow.
and then I met a gentleman when I was doing a show in Roswell back in 2004, 2005, and he actually worked. It was either for the newspaper or for the radio station in Roswell in 1947. And
Mm.
we got, I was, fascinated ever since that 97 when I saw that. I was fascinated with anything that had to do with UFOs. So I talked to him for probably 30 minutes, after that show, just asking him because he knew all the people, that was involved in all that. And he said, and he was you could tell he's a really religious guy. And he even said, look, he goes, I'm Christian. I'm 81 years old. Uh, I'm not a kook. He goes, but I know what happened. He talked about how people were threatened to not open their mouth, say anything about what they heard, what they saw. And he said it was many, many years that people did not talk about it because they were scared. Because he said these people would, bring harm to them, bring harm to their families, ruin them financially, anything you can think of. These people were scared.
Can I ask a
So,
question? Why now that it's, if I can say, if I'm corrected or I'm not too sure, that it's more open now for everyone to say, yes, we all now have seen a sighting and we all now believe, and that the government is not going to come after everyone for saying, X, Y, Z. And why has the government hidden it for so long? What is the danger? What is the threat? You know, what's the big deal? If it's a
only
million.
thing I can, only thing I can maybe figure is maybe the consequences of the religious institutions
Oh lordy.
of maybe anarchy or people thinking, what do they believe now?
So it's like religion and
I,
God and Jesus didn't make us and God didn't make us. It wasn't Adam and Eve, and there was the aliens that made us, and so therefore it is a
Right
hidden.
now, it would be more acceptable, like basically.
Yeah, so it's like for a
Yeah.
long time it was a hidden taboo, and like we've heard many times in radio from people who are flying planes, and we've seen an XY said, but we and years later they've had an interview to say we did hear it, but we couldn't say it because they would have thought we were crazy, and now
Hmm.
everything's opening up because now I think the word is saying f this, we're not stupid anymore, well, kind of going against the government and whatnot, if that makes sense. But
well, they've got a lot of pilots like Commander Fravor that was a Top Gun pilot that saw the Tic Tac that's did
Hmm.
all the shows a few years ago, and he's like one of the most credible pilots in the Navy.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Top Gun instructor, I think. And you know, it wasn't just him that saw it. It was the person also that's in the plane, and also the other Hornet. I think there was two pilots in that.
yeah,
So there's four sets of eyes on that thing,
Hmm.
yeah.
plus video,
Unlock
and
it.
that's
Yeah,
and then from what I've heard, 3 years ago, all those the footage of the Tic Tac and the gimbal and the Go Fast all kind of came out about the same time, and the Pentagon released it. So
What did that say?
um,
it's David.
Oh, you wanted to see what that one said?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was talking about aliens. Dang it.
He wanted to figure out what planet his ex-wife was from.
I think they actually verified that there was like no traffic in the air at the time of those
Oh,
sightings too.
you're
Some
talking
of
about on
those.
the with the pilots.
Yeah, I think they had verified and called in and said, "Hey, there's this object. Do you have it on radar? Is there someone transmitted or someone that's permitted to
gosh.
be in the air right now that we don't know about?" And they verified that no one was supposed to be in the air at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like with the Tic Tac, they they were seeing these objects, and they sent them out there, and of course, then they see them, and I can't remember with his sighting if it was more than one, but I know with the gimbal there was like a bunch. They said a fleet of them. You can hear one of the pilots say there's a whole fleet. But
Oh
like
yeah.
with the Tic Tac, of course, when it took off, he said it was like a bullet, and it's gone, in a second. And then the Nimitz, the ship, recorded the bleep gone, and then a few seconds later, it's 60 miles away from that point.
And they, at one point they
So,
tried to lock one, and they couldn't lock it because it was going too fast. There was one video that I
y-
did see. Now I need to look it up. That there was an aircraft, and they tried to lock this um, flying uh, object that wasn't in the airspace at that
well,
time.
well, I know Commander Fravor was going to come over on to the object, and I think that's when it did take off, when he was going to try to get closer. Uh, and he said he thinks the thing was about 40 feet long,
Oh my
and
God, that's great.
no, there was no visible, jet stream coming out of it. No windows, no seams, nothing.
Mm,
Just the shape of a tic tac. And of course, with the gimbal, the one I think the gimbal was over on the East Coast. The gimbal was more saucer shaped, and then it's the one that started turning into the wind and the wind was going at 120 knots or something like that.
mm.
Really strong winds. So you're talking about like putting a plate, up going into the wind, which is it just defies our aerodynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you think?
um,
Like I know I said it earlier, and I know it's about religion, but why, like, would it be a big harm if they did show themselves? Would it be like a controversy if they did release evidence? Like you
I
People
don't.
would lose their shit. That's why.
I wouldn't lose my
I,
shit. I'd be like, I bloody knew it. I knew it. Many people know it. Many people are just blindsided to it. I,
well, and then there's some people that feel that even if they're religious, they're like, well, if God created me, He can create others in the universe. Why are we
Mm-hmm.
the only ones? So they accept, well, maybe He created them millions of years before us. Um, so that's the way some people will look at it. But some people, are very narrow-minded that we're the only people in the universe.
Yeah, and they would
And
lose it.
yeah, yeah, they would. I think that's what they've worried about for so long. So I think they're slowly leaking this stuff to us.
I hope they
But
do. I really do hope they do because I know a few people like and talking about religion now. I know one particular woman, and she's God fearing and very religious and whatnot, and goes to church every day. But there's no such a thing as ghost or paranormal, ever, 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 ever. And she's somebody that I know within the family, but she's like, no, no ghost, don't do paranormal, it's bad for you. But she goes to church every single day. And I would say to my friend to say to her mom, we've been in this field for many years. We've seen, we've heard, and we've felt. We've seen sometimes with our own eyes. Sometimes we didn't catch it on video and so on, and that's fine. We felt it, but we've documented it. We can show you and prove to you that there is life after death. But this person is like, no, there's no life after death. But I'm praying to Jesus and God. I'm going to do religion now. Jesus and God in the sky. Never felt you, never heard you, never, seen you. But He's real, and your paranormal is bullcrap. And that was my
I was waiting for her to say that because that's what she was kind of saying too.
the bullcrap. It's like there's religion. Jesus and God is real, and I'm sorry if anybody who's not doing religion here, but it is what it is when you come to paranormal. It is what it is. It goes hand in hand. You There's life after death, spirits and ghosts. There's God and Jesus. We've seen, we've heard, we've felt, we've touched, we've spoken to Him, we've heard. and then there's God that people can hear and feel him, touched by him, but there's no evidence. And I'm going to stand by my word. If anybody wants to attack me, that's okay, but I'm going to stand by my word. There's no evidence. But yet she condemns people who do paranormal work. And I'm biting on my fingernail to say, oh, I want to shake her a little bit to say, oh my God, you know.
I agree
Well,
and I disagree with you.
one of my best friends that I went to school with, he's the minister of music at the Methodist Church, and which on some Sundays I play drums with him. You know, he and his wife both had a paranormal experience when they first got married in their house, and they both saw something. Not just one person, both of them, when they were in bed. When they woke up, he woke up about 3 a.m. and his wife woke up about 3:30.
Oh, wow.
Did we disappear?
Oh, no, you're good. You're back.
No, we can still hear you. That's just a very large comment.
Oh,
Very
okay.
large.
Yeah, yeah. My friend woke up about, I think it was about 3 a.m. He just felt like there was somebody in the room, and he looked at the foot of the bed, and there was like a black mass, like almost the shape of a person, but kind of floating, like airy. I don't know how to describe it. Um, and this thing starts moving from the foot of the bed around toward his wife's side of the bed. So, but at first he thinks there's an intruder in the room. So he's starting to kind of poke her to get her to wake up and call her, and he's whispering her name, and she wakes up as this thing gets over right beside her, and she opens her eyes like, you know, what is it? What is it? And there's enough light in the room, you know, I guess coming through the shades, like from the street light. He said it's not pitch dark, you know, with that, maybe like the alarm clock, those digital red alarm clocks.
Yep.
He said, so you could see this thing plainly that it was something in there.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time it got to her side of the bed, it had worked its way all around the bed. And so she screams when she sees it. And he jumps up because he's right next to the hall door and the light. So he jumps up, turns the light on. There's nothing there. And then they're looking in the closets, they're looking under the bed, they're going through the house, you know, first thinking it's an intruder. But when they see that the doors haven't been opened or anything, that the windows are locked, that's when they really freak out. And so that was kind of, it's one thing when one person sees something, but when two people see it like that, and
Yeah.
these are two people of character that I've known, you know, I've known him like almost my whole life since like sixth grade, or yeah, or
Wow.
second grade, and uh, and known her for I don't know 25, 30 years, and they're just the kind of people that don't make things up,
And they
Mm-hmm.
and you can
probably
see
did
it
they
in.
not believe before that?
I mean, these are they're still very devout Christian people,
Mm-hmm.
but it's this whatever they saw they can't explain, and
Yeah.
and her eyes still bulge out when she talks about it. The last time we were
That's funny.
had people over, and she's had a couple of drinks, and you can just see it in her face, like of how frightening it was. And
It's a good
um,
thing because when they say I'm going to the spirit in the sky, but
Mm-hmm.
if you do paranormal research,
Thank you.
and I'm like, bite my freaking knuckles to say, you don't believe in one, but you believe in the other. And I'm sorry, I am passionate about the whole paranormal religion thing. I do believe in God. I am a Christian, but I don't want to be bashed for what I do. When I do it, and the person is a religious person and say they're going to the spirit in the sky, I would have evidence and so on and so on. It's kind of it's hypocritical to me. That's what I take from it, and I'm very passionate when it comes to both fields. But that's my opinion on it. Sorry. That's my opinion. Rosie, what were you saying that you agree and disagree on?
Oh, I said, I guess like I agree that Christianity can be correct, but I also believe in other religions. I don't know what you call that, but I have
Yeah,
belief that if there can be so many dimensions and so many things unexplainable that we do not know what they are, that we
yeah,
see and we can hear and smell, then we don't know that the only belief is this or the only belief is that. What if there's another dimension and the belief is Buddhism and there's this belief is
absolutely.
Christianity and the next one is, whatever other belief? Like,
Yeah,
how do we know that they don't all exist or coexist at the same time and they're all real? I don't,
yeah, I
that's what
totally
I kind
agree.
of.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
man. I was friends with Art Bell, like the last year before he died, and we had conversations about this. And Art's kind of like me. He doesn't know what it is. You know, I guess he's got his answer now, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
at the time,
Exactly.
he's
No,
kind
I
of like,
won't.
I don't know.
He
I don't
said,
know if
shut
these are
up,
ghosts.
Jenny.
I don't know if these are demons. I don't know. So
No,
it's I mean, I'm fascinated by the whole thing because, I haven't experienced something. I know there's something there, and knowing other people that experienced it,
oh,
there's
He
I
has
think
a
a lot
theory.
of people experience things. I think
okay.
some people experience things and they're afraid to tell anybody,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's
Or they're
because they don't
afraid of
want to
how they'll
be,
be judged by
people
their own
think
family.
yeah, you don't want people to think you're a quack. But I think most people now are very open to a lot of things in the paranormal, or they're curious about it, or especially like with the aliens. I think a lot of people are kind of lean toward they believe there's other things out there.
yeah.
And then there's some people that think that these ghosts are interdimensional beings.
Do you know
Art
what?
talked about that. Could could they be time travelers? Are
We
they
have
something
talked
that's
about that.
leaping in and out of
We
another
actually
dimension?
discussed that. We actually discussed that on other shows about aliens being interdimensional beings or
Mm-hmm.
possibly even time travelers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah, I mean,
us in an
I
or
who
yourself
knows?
in another dimension. Like
that's
you.
it. Like someone said before, like if you're the really ones that who are really have passed away, and you're the ghosts, and yet the people that you're investigating are the people who are alive.
That's
That's
interesting too.
that's said to me before. It's like the
Yeah.
movie. Okay, it's a movie with
The Sixth Sense.
No,
not a different one with
The
I know what you
others,
talking about. The
the
others, the
the
others.
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
others with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
you're and when I watched the movie, and I was watching like, oh my god, that's so oh my god, I love it. At the end of it, it stopped me from talking, and I like to talk, but it stopped me from talking. I know, everyone be seated. What I say, I like to talk. Um, that at the end of it, I was like, oh my god, you kind of
That's
got me on
pretty
this.
cool. Hey, don't take that off of the screen. I'm screenshotting that for real. I'm gonna start doing a conspiracy theory show, and that like game.
Harry,
It's a
okay,
good idea. Yep.
Get it, Rosie. Go ahead, girl.
okay.
That's why I've been writing and stuff. Like, I could do a show over that and a show over that.
Question.
Yeah.
Now you see, Gary, we're trying to get our minds around paranormal.
I
I was
love that. That's just like way out there, and
and then
scratch my head. Oh.
into something else like, oh Jesus, now we have to look this up now and study this one. I don't think my brain can take it. It's a lot of work to do. It's a lot
Got
of
it. You got it, Rosie.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, sorry. Yep, I got it.
oh lordy. Yes, multiple religions. Yes,
Yeah.
I do believe that one too, for sure.
Do you believe in remote viewing, David?
well, I've heard that the military actually, you know, has studies about remote viewing.
Yeah.
So,
He's
um,
Mm.
I mean, that's definitely it's a government program, so um, I would think there's something to it. I don't think the government's going to be sinking a whole lot of money into something like that
Yeah.
if there's not.
Yeah.
It's just like they've sunk a lot of money into like Robert Bigelow out in Las Vegas. You familiar with him,
Hmm.
Robert Bigelow? Supposedly he has like extraterrestrial materials that have been tested. Robert Bigelow is the one that bought Skywalker Ranch all those years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing all those studies out there for years and years. I think I think Bigelow has sold the ranch since. I don't know if the government has it. I'm not sure, but George Knapp out of Las Vegas, he's been out there a lot to the Skywalker Ranch. He said he's never saw anything, but he's talked to lots of people that have seen like portals open in the sky.
Oh wow.
Um, they've
Yeah, they
seen
got a whole show about
creatures.
that now. David, it's a Skinwalker Ranch, and I've been kind of
Well, I think you said
watching
Skywalker Ranch. Is that a separate place
Skinwalker.
than
Skin,
Skinwalker.
Skinwalker?
skin,
Walker.
Skinwalker,
Okay.
Skinwalker.
Okay. I thought you were talking about a place that's really called Skywalker Ranch, which wouldn't be weird because I mean Star Wars is pretty popular.
That's owned by George Lucas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one is.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
anymore.
Bigelow,
Disney owns it.
I, I think Bigelow he's like an aerospace guy out there in Las Vegas, and he really got interested in extraterrestrials and the spacecraft stuff, and
Yep.
he's got he became friends with Bob Lazar, so I think they
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot, and of course George Knapp is big friends with Bob Lazar. But who knows what
Yeah.
Bigelow knows? I mean,
MK Ultra.
he might have he's probably got knows classified things he can't even discuss. So,
Mm-hmm.
He sold it.
but the government was definitely paying him to do this research.
Hmm. I have to do an episode over that too.
You're just getting all
There's
kind of
just so much stuff, huh?
you just getting all kind of ideas, aren't you?
Yeah. You're about to fall asleep. I saw you fall asleep a minute ago.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
I noticed your eyes were
It's been a
closed and
long
you were
day.
falling asleep.
It's not that it's interesting.
Ranch.
Well,
MK
it's a
Ultra.
different show. It's a different show than the other one on the other night you had.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's been some other things been happening
The one he
actually.
had.
That's actually going to be on tomorrow night, and that's when Jenny we're going to get all messed up and be Irishman for one day
Tomorrow? Yes.
tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Sure, be
Oh yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
To be
if we
sure.
can get the Guinness out, I mean, I'd be all up for that.
I'm going to be having my Guinness tomorrow night for sure, for definite. I'm going to have my green on me. I'm going to have
Your little pot.
my little pot of shamrocks. And I'm going to be like, I think we're going to be child free. So it's a party in Jenny's house for one. Me. Just
As long as
one.
Aiden's there, we got to have Aiden on there.
I'm trying to get Aiden on. I'm trying to get Aiden on, but he loves to sleep. I'm trying to get some of the Irish groups on. But I know when I say 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll be like, "Oh, Jenny, you should be sure. I'm going to be shit faced out of my face, and I'm going to be in bed asleep."
What?
And
I didn't get
they're going
that. She's talking so fast in an Irish accent.
I know.
Like,
Sorry.
what? That's okay.
They're
Jenny
going to
walked in. She said, "Come see this," and she was actually video chatting, and she was showing me this amazing place that she was staying at. They were going to do an investigation, and went into Aiden's room, and A was on a bed. He looked like a seal. He looked like a seal laying on the bed. He was out. I mean, it was a miracle.
Sligo. That was in Sligo. Gary, you're here. Gary, do you want to come on the show tomorrow night at 2 a.m. in the morning? Gary's from the north of Ireland, and Gary.
Oh, is
Gary
that
does
okay?
paranormal. Yeah, Gary Finley. So Gary, do you want to come on to the show tomorrow night at 2 a.m. in the morning? It's a St. Patrick's show. Everything's thrown into it, and you can have a pint of Guinness if you want to. So let us know here. Oh my God! Oh no, I can't. David, why would you say that here now and live? Like really?
Oh, no.
Now he wants a divorce. Like, really, David, we need to talk in private about this. You just can't take him anywhere.
What's
Anyway,
I'm definitely gonna have David Merlin back. I mean, we lost so much time with him, and I want to bring him back on March 30th, so we can actually go into more details about David and what he's actually, because I want to know about street illusionists, uh, like David Blaine and that kind of stuff. I mean, he's known as he's not a magician; he's known as an illusionist, and some of the stuff
Well,
that he does out there.
yeah, David Blaine. Well, he's a street close-up magician, but he's kind of what I would say a publicity stunt kind of person. That he
mm-hmm.
just he does these things that are not really illusions; they're real to his body. That
Yes. Oh my,
I
Oh,
wouldn't I
yes.
wouldn't suggest anybody doing some of the things that he does
I
because
like those kind of people.
It's a
I
lot.
mean it's really dangerous. I
Yeah,
mean he's lucky of a couple of things he's done to be alive,
like
Did
the Venice
but
Beach freak show type of people.
Did you see when? Sorry.
uh, like starvation. Being in a glass cage, starving himself for days and days and days.
Oh,
You
Yes,
know
he did.
it.
For what purpose? For what? What? How was that magic? How? What?
Yeah,
If he's portraying magic, how is that magic? When he stayed awake, he could stay awake for as long as he can. Delusional. How is this magic? It's not magic. It's
yeah,
watching
it's
suffering.
crazy. I wouldn't, just to be on television. There's no way I'm going to do harm to my body like that.
Hmm.
thank you,
I mean,
Chrissy.
he's done a few things where he has, at the point of that he's just delirious.
He has to be taken away in an ambulance, and
Oh yeah, yeah, putting on IV and in the
yeah,
hospital for
yeah.
days.
What I'm trying to say, David, you don't live that far away from me, maybe 3 hours if that, and we can do our own shows and be on TV and do the street thing. You can just throw some gas on me, you know. I'll sit there and let you burn me, and I'll get drunk, and it'll be fine. It'll be all good. We can make some money on it.
That's funny.
Look what I'm gonna do with this Louisiana boy.
You could go downtown in the French Quarter and do it for money.
Well, I could do it here, and then we can do it in this Alabama, and see which one makes the most money.
Yeah, the French Quarters actually would be a great place if they had a good venue to do a permanent paranormal show. That's my
Hmm.
ultimate thing that I want to do is I want to have my own show like in an intimate type theater that maybe
Hmm.
seats 100 people,
Hmm.
so that people can see it up close and personal.
A little
And
old haunted theater, probably, if you're in New Orleans.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, David, when I'm talking about getting married on May 22nd, there's going to be a lot of people from the paranormal field that's going to be there. Um, I invited actually Jenny. She's actually going to try to sneak in the box, and she's going to try to get here.
Yes. I'm gonna be like a
Rosie will be
vampire
here.
box and shit.
A lot of people that you see in the chat rooms tonight that they're either invited and they're waiting on them to confirm, or they're going to be there. So it's a paranormal wedding. So if you want to come, just let me know. Uh,
Oh wow.
so you eat good because I'm cooking. That's damn sure.
where are you having it? Where's it going to be held at?
And Mandeville, it's you know where Lake Pontchartrain's at, right?
Right off I-10.
I-12.
Is it? Let's see.
You got
I
you got
thought
you
it's
got New Orleans. You got New Orleans, and right above it, you have Lake Pontchartrain. That's the North Shore, and you go
right.
up, and that's Mandeville, right when you get off at Causeway Bridge.
Okay. I was just trying. I've been through there, but it doesn't the I-10 cut across Louisiana right there through New Orleans.
Yeah, it goes. Okay, if you're coming from Alabama and you're coming into Louisiana, it's still I-10. Then if you go, it's a split, and you can keep going into New Orleans, or you can keep going straight to I-12 in Louisiana, and you just stay on I-12, and you just keep going straight in about maybe 15, 20 minutes from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been to New Orleans maybe 4 or 5 times. I got on the cruise ships there a couple times, and I've been over there for like New Year's, and so I think it's
Been there
four
enough.
times I've been to New Orleans.
Yeah, I've been there enough. Some week, I mean, whole weekends in New Orleans. I know it's got all little dives and stuff like that. Even still, this, oh, listen to this. Even old Stephen Woodard's been in there. So you see, even Stephen, he's from Mississippi, and he said he's game for that. Watch a blazing aquatic entity demonologist. That would be like some stinky stuff going on there. Would burn him.
Oh my god, yeah, if you're on fire.
Yeah, yeah, you're more and more. Just let me know. We can talk about it and see if you
how
want to
many
come on.
people you got? How many people you got coming that
I have
weekend?
no idea. I haven't even freaking started doing the list yet. I mean, it was a massive invite. A lot of, well, the head was really massive, and then now it's cut down until into a smaller. But yeah, I'm looking at about possibly about 150,
My
maybe
God.
200.
Yeah, I should try to start booking my show over in that area during that time, where I could
There's a
be in
lot
the
of
area.
venues. There's a lot of
Yeah.
venues. There's a lot of venues around here you can get involved in, especially in the city
It's on the
Yeah, I used to do
22nd. It's on a Sunday.
on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
I'm
the
just going
weddings
to
on
a ship
Sunday.
and a big wooden box and pretend I'm a vampire and they're going to ship me
Then
over
we
to
could go to his show. If he booked shows there that weekend, we could go see it.
You can go see the show.
I've got my coffin behind me.
I
Oh my gosh, are you
well,
kidding
you see,
me?
David, you need to
You're
come
my
into
new
that.
best friend.
You need to come into
Yeah,
that.
I
And
just
then
I
told
built that,
Howard that when I went to New Orleans, I was coming back with a coffin.
I like what
and
she
I
said
and I
here.
built and
I
I built a coffin for my friend Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster, for
oh,
his
no way.
I love him.
Wolf. Yeah, me and Butch are good pals, and we were going to be doing a lot of shows together, and then of course COVID hit, and so we're hoping to still do a lot of stuff together, and of course I'm even pitching a kind of a television show that he would be involved with, and with the Munster coach taking us places.
There you
He
go.
owns a Munster coach.
Oh
Hmm.
well.
I'm supposed to have the
Yeah.
Louisiana Ghost Hunters, Ghostbusters out there. So we'll have like Ecto One parked out front, and then we'll have some Ghostbusters that's supposed to be actually standing up there when we're getting married and everything. So that would be something nice, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, we were talking about all kind of things and uh, how we would want to dress and everything else. And matter of fact, I sent pictures to I think Jenny and Rosie what the cake's going to look like. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not your traditional wedding cake. I mean, it's a big cake. It's
Kind of
four
like
tiers. Like,
it has like this on top, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
it's a
it's a man and a woman.
yeah, the
send me
skeletons embracing each other. Yeah,
Like
there's a
a
paranormal theme
piece.
to it.
Uh,
Stephen, I'm
It's
trying
gonna
to
be
co-
get over.
fun.
I'm trying to get over, Stephen. I am definitely trying to get over. That's what I'm saying. If I go to sugar daddy dot, New Orleans to meet a sugar daddy that he can fly me over in his private jet, I will definitely be over. Or I can get into a wooden casket, pretend I'm a vampire.
I
With,
wouldn't. I wouldn't. We're gonna fight over the casket, or we're gonna have to take turns.
Oh, you know that right? It's going to be a mambo that's going to be there, and the voodoo priest is going to be there, and then we want to have the voodoo priest is actually also a vampire. He's an actual vampire.
that's why you
He's
got.
going to be there. Uh, I got a lot. I mean, people from different genres. I mean, cryptics. Dana Holyfield is supposed to be coming. So there's going to be a lot of people from different genres in the paranormal field.
You gotta
All the
be
creeps and all the
there.
freaks and all the weirdos.
Yeah. Oh Lordy, I'm trying to get over. I'm gonna go into
Oh
www.neworleanssugardaddy.com.
my god, I don't
For the
know if I want to hear
Like me,
this or not.
I'm going to stand up there with a thong, a tank top, and flip flops.
Of course he is.
I know
Hey, it's your wedding. I guess you can dress however you want to.
Strong optional.
Thank God.
Yeah,
How
Jackie
is
said she
Steven
was going
doing?
to try to come, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? Yeah,
Yeah, she's supposed to come.
Jack.
yeah,
Anya's
Jackson's.
supposed to be there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So you know that's going to be,
Crazy.
and it's an open bar. Except I ain't paying for mixed drinks. You pay for your own freaking mixed drinks. I'm paying for everything else. I'm paying for beer, and wine, and champagne, and all that other stuff. That's not enough to get you going. I mean, Anna, she's already talking about getting one of them helmets to put the wine bottles upside down and go straight into her. You know?
Oh my
All
God.
right, she's so bloody right. Like the beer cups, but with wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that's.
That's funny.
I'm trying. I'm doing. I don't know if Aiden can make it over, but geez, if I can get over, I'm going
That's
to.
how he's dressing too.
Yeah,
Like, whoa, Lord Jesus.
I might be the same way. I don't know.
Y'all go get a wax
There she
first,
is.
okay?
I think again, Jennifer's working on
Jennifer.
her. Jennifer might be coming. Uh, she works up there. When you was talking about Skinwalker Ranch and all that stuff. She lives up there with Skinwalker Ranch, Blonde Frog
Mhm.
Ranch area,
Oh wow.
Wrecking
and
her.
she's a
Yeah,
very
that's in
gifted
Utah. I
medium.
think it's in Utah, isn't it?
Utah.
Mm.
Skinwalker.
Hmm? So I'm waiting for Jennifer. Jennifer to
Wherever
confirm.
Jennifer lives, I don't
My
remember.
little sister. Oh, that's my little sister. Yeah, Chrissy Bag is going to be there. I'm going to have the Listen Queen there. She's going to be coming.
Them.
I'm probably about to
It's
pass out.
northeastern Utah. That's what it is.
I'm loving Rosie's green T-shirt and green hair.
Yeah.
You're doing it, girl.
I
You're
was
doing it.
gonna wear another green shirt, but I'll wear it the next time.
That's good. That's good. I have my shirt and my decorations for tomorrow night.
Oh,
Hey,
here's a post. Here's a poster. I don't know if you can see it.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I see that monsters. Monster.
Yeah.
And I seen that actually
It's
earlier.
the car. You see the car at the bottom, the
I
hot
think I
rod.
saw your
Herman
profile
Monster.
photo. The back of it said something about monsters or monsters
Yeah.
right behind you, right?
Yeah, on
David,
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
are you ever going to come over to Ireland to do a tour?
Was it Universal?
Yes.
I would love to.
Would you come
I
over
would
to
love to
Ireland
do
to do a
some
tour?
stuff. Yeah, I would love to do like some stuff through uh, Ireland and Scotland, England. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
English.
I've been all over the world, but I have not been there yet. I've been to Germany. I did it. I actually did Germany's Got Talent a couple of years ago.
I
Cool.
I've
Uh,
seen you on America's Got Talent. When you said it earlier at the beginning of the show, I'm like, oh, now I know his face. Like
Oh,
I seen you on America's Got Talent, and I was like, oh my god, like that's like I
and
knew
then
it. Awesome.
every time I go into Walmart, they ask me if I'm related to Robin Williams,
you got that
especially
look.
when I.
Because I was trying to I was trying to picture
Funny.
that.
That's great. Can you do his voice?
You look you got that familiar
You
face.
know,
Hey, Morgan,
I
maybe
haven't
over
got
there.
I, I haven't gotten his voice down. I have to work on that.
Just put some Cool Whip on your face and mumble. You'll get
Oh,
there.
Mr. Doubtfire, huh?
Maybe wear a wig.
I
Yeah,
mean, he does have that, huh?
when I was younger, they when I would go through Hollywood, people thought I was the guy Jason Patrick from the
Yeah,
Lost Boys.
I know him.
But that
Yeah.
was
Oh my.
years ago.
Jason
I'm trying to remember
Patrick.
which character that is. I can't remember. I only remember Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Oh, are
I
you
mean, he
talking
was
about
in
the guy, the
Speed.
brother?
No, well, he was the dark-headed one. He was in Speed 2 with Sandra Bullock. He
I
was in
know him.
the
I know him.
Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you Google Jason Patrick, a lot
I'm
of
gonna have
people
to do
because
that.
we had the kind of same jawline and the blue
Uh-huh.
eyes and
I know
everything.
him from the Lost
And
Boys. Yeah.
when I was younger, I mean, there was so many times people would say, "Are you Jason Patrick?" When I lived out in California, and then when I would start talking with the southern accent, that would give it away. And as I
Oh
got
my!
older, I heard Robin Williams more than than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you have a strong resemblance to him, that's for sure.
I'm working
I
on
have
it.
to make a play on that. Maybe that might be something you might want to do. You know, use that.
Yeah, I used to make the Robin Williams face when I would be in comedy clubs sometimes, but
That's so cool.
I could stop yawning. Howard, I'm feeling your sleepiness and it's making
I'm
me
up now.
yawn.
I'm not invested. That's
Stop
my
being
sleep for the
sleepy.
night. I'm done. I'm wide awake. I'm ready to
yeah,
go another day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quarter
I
to
just keep
four,
yawning.
and I'm
yeah, I
sleepy.
probably
Oh,
got to jump off. I got to probably
all right.
jump off. I got to get up.
Yeah,
I got a
that's
show.
great.
I got a show tomorrow, so I got
Yeah,
to
I'm getting
head out
sleepy
of
too.
town.
Been
Okay.
up re-
And where can they find you? Where can people go see you at?
Um, I'm David Merlin, MERLIN.com, and I'm on Facebook under David Merlin. Um, on YouTube, I got some of the old magic videos on there under David Merlin.
Okay.
Um, or you can look for David Merlin Paranormalist because I go by the Paranormalist.
Okay.
Nice.
Um, I've got one video that's kind of promoting my paranormalist stuff, but I'm going to be shooting some more stuff really soon, more scary kind of stuff to promote the television
Awesome.
show that I'm pushing.
Uh,
Let's hear
Awesome.
it.
Okay.
I'm
And
gonna
well, I guess we'll call it a night. Next week we'll on our show we're going to have the Ghosty Girls come on. We're going to talk to the girls and see how they're doing and uh, have some fun with them. See what they've been up to. Actually, these little girls are ages 11 and 9 years old, and they're 9 and a half. I'm sorry, 9 and a half, maybe 9 and 3/4 now. Uh, you have to see you have to give that when they get that age. They want them. Uh, they're the youngest paranormal investigators I've ever seen, and they're very, very, very gifted. They're very talented.
mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
then
cool.
tomorrow we'll be on the Petri dish. Yes. And we're having that St. Patty's party on here. So that'll be interesting. And then Friday night will be the Unholy Trinity. And I don't even know what the hell we're going to be talking about on that show. It's always potluck.
it is. It is what
so,
it is.
so with that being said, we appreciate everybody watching tonight. And I'm honored to be back home where I should have never left. And now I'm back and feeling a lot of love from everyone in the network. And I appreciate that so very much, guys. Um, so we'll see y'all next week, or we'll actually just catch us tomorrow night and get liquored up with us. So,
Good night.
so good night, guys. See y'all tomorrow.